the deck I did want to take a look at in a little bit more detail is Primite Blue Eyes, which actually got 3rd place at YCS Sydney, which is pretty cool to see, actually, for Blue Eyes to take 3rd place in a YCS right after its release, essentially. So that I think is pretty cool. The list here is, funnily enough, I have built a Blue Eyes deck for the next time I'm going to go to locals. The list is very close to what I built and very close to what like a lot of people are doing with Blue Eyes at the moment. It's relatively standard for the early iteration of Blue Eyes, but it's just basically combining the Primite engine with 3 Ether Barrel, 3 Load, and 1 Drill Beam, with just a very, very narrow, I want to say, Blue Eyes package, with a lot of people have... You know, I've heard people have been complaining that the Blue Eyes deck isn't really a Blue Eyes deck because it doesn't play as many Blue Eyes cards. There still is a decent amount of Blue Eyes cards in there. I think it's fair to consider it a Blue Eyes deck. The video is good if you want to watch. We can check out the deck profile for the Blue Eyes. Yeah, I was gonna see some reasoning behind that. It is... Oh, it's Yugioh. Let's see.
All right, what's good, YouTube? Balling on a budget here. We just had YCS Sydney over the past weekend. Dean made 3rd place.
Yep.
I came X2. I came 35th. I bubbled. X2, topping record, but oh well. Anyway, happy Dean did well. You really...
How big was YCS Sydney? Just for context, real quick. I didn't see the number when we were on the page earlier.
Really liked the list that I was on,
Yep.
so I gave him the list. First of all, big shout outs to Vlad.
Oh, 900. That's
we
not
couldn't
bad.
have done this without him. Like a lot of the ideas, pretty much the list was his idea, and I made some changes, and then...
Oh yeah, the list is close to what Vlad played earlier, because I remember looking at Vlad's list when I built my Blue Eyes for locals. Vlad had a pretty similar list to this one as well. Yeah.
I was seeing a lot of success for it, and then Dean was going to play Fire King.
Is 900 big for YCS Sydney comparisons? Like I don't know. Like is that something is that a good turnout, or is that a mediocre turnout for Australia? Because I'm trying to grasp how it's usually looking.
And thank God he didn't.
Last year was 917. This one was 896. So about the same. Okay.
And so I gave him the list, and then you did really well. So.
Yeah, and shout out to Samuel, gave me all the cards.
Shout out to all the boys for lending us their energy. Woohoo! Shout out to anyone else? I don't think so. Overall, the weekend was pretty good.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah, everyone was really, really nice. Let's get into the deck profile. Here you go, if you want to go ahead and profile. So, played a 41 card main deck.
Yeah.
Obviously, Primite Engine.
Dragon.
I'm going to throw something out there. I personally think there is a chance that in the long run, the Blue Eyes deck might end up establishing a slightly higher deck count than 40, because the first thing I noticed when playing around with it just a little bit is like there are a couple of one-ofs in there you would preferably not to see. It does remind me a little bit of Dragon Link in that sense, where the deck has pretty solid combos, and it's not the end of the world if you have like your True Light in hand or something, but you kind of do lose a card for no reason. So I think it's not a big deal to go slightly over 40 with Blue Eyes, and I also think it might end up being something that people will look back at the deck in like a few weeks or months and be like, yeah, it's probably just better to play slightly more. You do have to balance it out, because it's not like Dragon Link where almost any, like you can just add more good starters to it. The Blue Eyes deck is a little limited in what exactly you want to start with, but I do think there's some other cards that you could consider a starter. And you could play around with it a little bit. I'm not saying you should immediately jump to like a 60 card deck to minimize your bricks, but I do think there's a world where you can add a couple of like maybe some good non-engine to it, maybe some other good starters that you're fine with, some consistency cards, and then maybe like a 43, 4, 5 kind of Blue Eyes deck could be solid.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Three dragon.
Yep. 3 load.
3 loady load.
1 quick play.
Is maybe an argument, like, do you ever want to play more than this one, maybe?
No, just 1.
One's fine, right? Yeah.
I think Drill Beam is such a powerful card. I think the Primite engine is very, very sick. And I probably agree with One Drill Beam. It's the kind of card that relies on other cards for it to be live, but it really is so good.
I think Harrison Nisho said he wanted to play 3.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
Neo Kaiser. I think Neo Kaiser Seahorse is really underrated because everyone is just focusing on the Primite cards. Because I was working on a Blue Eyes video for the TCG, which I know I'm late to the party AF, but I was still considering doing it because I just got my cards late and I was busy around the time of Blue Eyes release, so I didn't make it yet. But I did want to include some budget alternatives for the deck in the deck profile or in the video that I was gonna make for it. And I did look at the Neo Kaiser Seahorse, and I do think that card is pretty good. Like it's fine. You do not want to play it if you have access to the Primite cards in a 40 card version, but if you end up making your deck count bigger, then it could be an option.
This engine's just so broken. Like, the whole point of this deck is you just want to survive to turn 3, because if you survive to turn 3, you basically win the game, right?
Yeah, you're looping the resources.
Because you get this one back every turn, this one comes back in the standby phase. You get like the True Light summons back the 2 bodies.
Yeah, and you got the Purge back or the Imperm back.
Yeah, the Tyrant can get back like any trap card and
and
stuff
one more
like that.
Vela every turn.
Yeah, and one more Vela. So like the whole point of this deck is like really low to the ground, and you just want to survive to turn 3, because if you do, you pretty much win the game. And then,
which is a very fun concept, by the way. I wish more decks were built like, just conceptually, I want more Yu-Gi-Oh decks to be lower to the ground turn 1, but pretty neat like grind game. I think that's a good place to be. That's why I'm also a huge fan of the Blue Eyes deck conceptually.
these cards are broken in the grind game and you're never losing. So standard Primite engine. Next we have the Goo Eyes.
2.
2 Blue Eyes Red Dragon.
Yeah, Thunder.
All the bricks. Shout out to the bricks.
Yep. I draw a lot.
Yeah. Sometimes drawing this spell right here is not the worst, I feel like. The trap card can obviously also not be that bad. Like if you just have a playable hand, having the trap card already doesn't really hurt you. If you draw Mausoleum of White or True Light, you are effectively just losing a card. Like, because you would have gotten both of those for free in your combos. So that's annoying.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
This one.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Then 3
Three.
Sage.
Three.
3 Maiden.
Super. Oh.
This one you definitely play 3 of, right?
Yeah. But
Like, you don't want to break. The deck already is quite bricky. And then, like, worst case, if you draw, like, this already and...
Wait, people are arguing about whether this card is a 3 of? Nah, that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Like, okay, what's the argument? The argument is it's -1 into Ash Blossom, I suppose, is the only thing I can think of. But, dude, that is one of the best consistency cards you could imagine for a deck. Because it's a spell card. It's not like you have to put like more normal summons into your deck to get higher consistency. No, this card is just great. Also, you're playing a deck that has a whole bunch of dead cards in it anyways that you don't want to draw. So pitching them off of that card is great. It also allows you to play like Fuvalos without being scared of it and stuff like that. I think that card is always a 3 of. I think it's a 3 of. I think this card is phenomenal.
can get to it, you can just set one off the True Light and then just discard the other one, right?
yeah.
So
It's dead on later turns. I can see that. But this deck has very little issue with this sort of thing because it already accelerates at follow-up. Like this deck's main strength is its longer game. So if you can get to a turn 3, and then have like one dead card around, I think that is not a problem. Whereas the bigger problem is getting to that point and like making your board to begin with.
you can just set one off the True Light and then just discard the other one, right?
Yeah.
So
Sometimes you just discard this one and reset.
sometimes you like to side out a couple of these going second.
Yeah, like 2. or
Maybe
1.
like 2 going second.
Yeah.
Because you only ever need 1, and it's like when you're hand trapping a lot, you're losing cards, so you can just discard and side out 2 of them.
Yeah.
So this is where the deck list gets a bit funny. So Dean couldn't afford a 3rd Fualos, so he just took the deck and then just like kind of ruined it.
Yep.
So
Call by.
he put in So we have 3 Ash.
Yeah, 3 Ash.
This one's obviously
Yeah.
2 full loss.
Should be third one, but I cannot
should be
find.
Wait, I thought the list had 3 Fuvas. Oh, it really is only 2. Okay, I didn't even see that.
Third one. That's
I couldn't afford 3 Fuvas and then shows me 2 QCRs. Are you serious?
so I played the third one, but he couldn't find the third one.
Yeah,
so,
I only can borrow 2.
yeah.
Bro probably had like 9 secret rares, but was like, I'm not playing that. I'm not playing secret rare Fuvas. That's crazy.
Shout out to Levi. He
Shout out
has
to Levi.
3. I took 1 from him.
This one's crazy because you
Yeah.
always get to search like 1 or 2 in the combo.
3 impen.
This one's the best one.
Yeah, 3 purge. I want to talk about the purge. In the top 16 matchup, my opponent opened the cross.
Oh, you think this is JoJo's deck they're profiling? Okay, so JoJo is like kind of flexing on us with the rarities, but the other one was probably just trying to. Okay.
He's a pure riser. He play cross out, and he make the Galaxy Dragon first, the non-targeted one.
Purge is so good right now. Purge is so good right now, except for like the Malice matchup. It doesn't help that much, but like it's such a good card when everyone's doing like cross out, talents, Starleash, Photon plays. It's so good to be playing Purge right now. That's one of the main reasons why I like the Blue Eyes deck.
And make the dual drive second, and open the Fuse Spell from hand. It go effective.
Play around
search.
everything.
Play around everything. Not
Can't be
purge.
purge.
I
So-
purge him. He okay. Pause.
And then sometimes this one's really good because you can always set it back off Tyrant, and then you'll
Yeah.
obviously have like the Majesty. You might have this engraved. So like having this for the grind game against Ryzel especially is like really strong. So there's no Nibiru in the main deck because I guess like the problem with Nib is like it's not good versus Blue Eyes at all if they play well, and like versus Ryzel by itself it doesn't do enough. It's decent versus the Malice obviously, but like I ended up cutting the 3 nibs for the 4 losses, the 3 Fuas in the main deck, because this one's just too strong going second, and like you need a way to go second in this format. So like, we just cut nib altogether from the deck.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But we play 3 tactics.
This is the best card in the list, all weekend.
Yeah.
This one
If you're playing TCG right now, if your deck doesn't have talents, you're just not playing Pot of Greed.
was super hard because like with this deck, all you're trying to do, like I said, is to survive to turn 3. So if you get to turn 3, and you're able to play around everything with this deck, shout outs to Kodak because like he told me a lot with this deck. And if all you're trying to do is just play around everything. That's why we didn't play like cross out and stuff like that, because this deck can naturally play around Bestials, it can play around Nibiru, it can play around like all the hand
Or
traps,
Forceful
like, Ghost
Sentry,
River
yeah,
even
sure.
as well. And so like this makes it even easier because as long as you can know what's in their hand, you can perfectly time like all your interruptions. You can hit all of their stuff, you can just play around anything else, and then the TTT is just really good. And going second is also a
Very
really
cool.
good reason, which we'll show in the
Yeah.
extra deck.
1 Paul
Yeah.
and 1 Michael Bar.
This should be the third Fool Loss, but
Yep, I cannot find
can't afford.
Yeah.
So, would you maybe play the third Fool Loss over this in the future?
for
Did you
sure.
put- yeah, for sure.
Would you find room for the cold buy? Was it good?
It's fine.
It's like
fine.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you play 41?
I call by
This was 41. This is already 41.
GG, bro.
Yeah.
Call by the Dragoon in
This is already 41. GG, bro. Can't make it 42, dude.
the water deck. So he just
Nice.
swoop.
Also, you can hit like the Fiendsmith Desiree because that's a bit difficult for this deck to deal with because
Yeah.
Desiree can send True Light.
It's funny how I feel like someone playing 41 cards is like widely accepted in Yu-Gi-Oh, but like as soon as you go over 42 or something, it's kind of like you're crazy, you know? Like oh, 41, yeah, probably just couldn't fit. Like not the one off called by is the 41st card. You know, that's fine, that's reasonable. But 42? No, that's crazy.
So like I guess having a call by is also kind of nice.
Yeah, but
But
I want.
realistically, it should be the third Fool Loss, but he couldn't find it. So balling on a budget.
Yep.
I guess next, let's just do the side deck next. So what, you have like 3 Ultimate Slayer.
Very good.
This one is the best one into the Ryzel deck, obviously. Nothing really to be said here.
What's the reasoning for Slayer over Metaltronus?
So the Metaltronus, it's like, it's not as good. I feel like it can get ashed, first of all.
Yeah, and DDD can negate that one. Caesar.
Yeah, Waking Caesar can negate that one too.
I think the main reason to play Metaltronus is because it's more main deckable than Slayer. I think that's why people are maining it. If you are looking for a dedicated side deck card, yeah, Slayer is like better.
And this one at least standard cost can negate something on the field.
Yeah, this one's just like the cleanest way to out it because it's like the Metal Tronus. I feel like unless you're specifically playing Ryziel mirrors, like it's not doesn't have as much value. Like you can summon like Blue Eyes White Dragon off the Metal Tronus, sorry, but sometimes they have Duo Drive and like the attack
Metaltron to summon Blue Eyes is crazy behavior.
of the detonator is not 3k and it makes it a little bit awkward. So if Duo Drive is on the board, like your Metal Tronus is a little bit shaky. So
Yeah, you have to play the one in your X deck.
yeah,
That's
and
kinda
it's like decent in the mirror, I guess, but like they can always change Spirit and like they can.
Metaltronus is the craziest card in the Malice mirror. If you're playing Malice yourself, yeah, that's the thing. Metaltronus does always depend on what kind of deck you're playing yourself. Because obviously, if you're playing Ryziel or Malice right now, it is so much easier to just play Metaltronus and main deck Metaltronus because you're gonna have good targets versus at least one of the two best decks and most played decks in the format. If you're playing Rogue and other decks, like you're probably more inclined to play like Slayer with that stuff because yeah, it is the higher impact card, but it is less main deckable because it's not a quick play spell.
Have True Light to chain to the Metal Tronus. Like it's a little bit. I think in practice it doesn't work out as much.
Yeah.
These ones obviously for the Blue Eyes deck also really good. We would side invest the Ryziel and the Malice deck because like if you
Lightning Storm is really good right now. I feel like I think this format is the main reason why I like this current format is because it doesn't really force you to go either direction, like full on hand traps to stop what they're doing or full on board breakers so you can draw 3 board breakers to deal with what they're doing. I really like how the current decks, and that's even including Malice to an extent, are like you can realistically win against most decks in the format right now if you just draw like a mix of things. Where you don't have to hand trap him 4 times. It's fine if you hit like a choke point versus Ryziel and then like Lightning Storm their non-engine away or something like that. Because a lot of non-engine is like Solemn Strike, Imperm, Ryziel Cross next to it as well. So like you always get some value. Or like Lightning Storm against Malice at least deals with like the Abao into Griffins sort of stuff. Or like Slayer does the same thing. So that is something I really enjoy whenever you can do that.
Lingering Floodgate hand trap that deck. They're gonna end on a half board, and then like this can like clean up whatever backrow they have. It hits the Solemns, hits the
If you
Shrines.
remove the fuse block, the game can be very easy.
Yeah, if you hit like the cross, like it's obviously a lot easier. And then obviously you need these for the mirror match. And then 3 Judgment
going first.
Like this one, it's like obviously Solemn Strike's better, but Alec sucks and dies to backrow removal because everyone's citing these cards. So you need these ones to stop like these ones. It's a bit crap into Malice though.
Opinions on Blue Eyes and Bestials in Blue Eyes. I think Bestials are great in Blue Eyes. Bestials are great this format. And like it's a dragon deck, so the Magnamoot even has added utility. The problem is basically if you play Dominus Purge, I would not play Bestials. But if you don't like Purge, or you want to play a more budget friendly version, you can play Bestials. Of course, Druid Swarm is still an expensive card, but like you could play like 1 Druis, 1 Baldrake, one Druis, 1 Magna or something over the Purges.
Like it's a really scary like because you have to pay so much life points. And then Dean played. Oh well, we both played Lancia. Obviously, you need 6 spots for Malice, obviously. So this one's really good. And then Dean couldn't afford Meows, so he played Chaos Hunter instead.
But this one very good with
which is not even strictly worse than Meows, by the way. Like Chaos Hunter is just high risk, high reward. But if it works, it works.
Malice.
My only problem with this one is like they're on Cerberus, they're on Thrust, they're on Talon, they're on Metal Tronus.
So I'm gonna keep the Purge when I play the Chaos Hunter.
Because you can hit the Thrust after, right?
Yeah,
that's
I did a couple times.
Yeah, that's fair. I think like, do you think you would play Meows if you could in the future?
Not really.
I played Meows
okay,
instead.
Chaos Hunter first and then Purge the Thrust is obviously a good play. But you are kind of forced to do it that way around, right? You cannot Purge first because it would lock you out of using Chaos Hunter. Or maybe what they mean is like they would normally side out Purge against Malice, but because of Chaos Hunter, they would leave it in the deck.
I think this card's a bit better. It plays into less things, but I mean, he came 3rd place, so whatever.
Yeah, but I don't really enjoy to put the judgment when I play with Malice because they always shift me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I need something to fight back.
Yeah, beautiful. So extra deck, play double Spirit.
I actually think Judgment is very good against Malice if they shifter. Because under shifter, their extension is also limited. So if you can like Judgment the first Link 3, that they try to make, I think it's very hard for Malice to keep playing.
Spirit. Sorry, I'm missing my other spirit. One sec.
Yeah.
Just give me a sec.
No! Hey, what's happening?
Alright.
Okay.
Hey, one sec.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry. Play 2 spirit.
Yeah.
Good card. Yeah, or we can, like, most of the time when you want to play around, like, Nibiru, you can just make 1 spirit. A lot of the Blue Eyes players aren't very good, and they'll make double spirit and then just get nibbed and lose everything. But usually you can just end on 1 spirit, and then...
Keep the maiden effect.
Yeah, you keep the maiden.
Yeah.
And then if you, like, you can try to go to end phase, and then if they nib you, you can just use True Light to set wishes, and then wishes can get, like, roar.
Yeah.
Something else, and then you can summon Blue Eyes, get back to the maiden.
This video is 50% deck profile, 50% flex.
You can make bigger.
Where's the extra? Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
We played 1 Ultimate Spirit. A lot of the time I only summon this one when I want to, like, I've used a monster effect.
Yeah.
And you want to play around TTT.
Yeah. That's
So,
the only
like,
time.
that's the only time you really ever summon this one.
Yeah, otherwise just keep it.
Otherwise, you just keep the spirit.
It's very hard to remove this one.
Yeah, this one's, like, impossistorm. Like, sometimes you just AFK arena. You just sit on this.
Yeah.
And, like, they can't.
AFK arena.
They can't out it. Lightstorm Dragon, really good. Sometimes you're able to go second, like pop 2 back rows, then make Tyrant, clear everything, and then like really good, really strong.
And when this one dies, I can set the trap back.
Yeah, you can get the trap back. This one's in theory really good. I never really summoned this one.
Some ones with Marlis to bounce a link stream, but still lost that one.
Yeah. These 2, obviously, you need to. Definitely need to. We don't play Magnemite, so this one's not as good, but like sometimes in a grind game.
Yeah, like maybe you only open the Primate Dragon, just the only thing you can do is this.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like Seal's Pass.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you open like Lordy Load, you can like make this with Lordy Load, and then if you have Fool Loss, I did that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I didn't do that.
Like I can like Tributous cost, bounce my Lordy Load, have no cards on the field, and then Fool Loss.
I guess like Shifter as well.
Yeah,
on the mouse deck.
yeah. This one is cracked. You can take Detonator with this one. Also, like crashing it.
Yeah,
going
Lina's
second,
good right now.
Maiden is really good.
Maiden.
Sometimes if you already have that, then instead you can just make SP instead.
Yeah, sometimes if you only open the Primate, you can just go this one in.
Yeah.
Three.
Then we played the Ultimate Spirit and the Tyrant. These are the best cards in the extra deck, maybe. Super strong in the grind game.
These are the best cards in the extra
The
deck?
targeting protection
Maybe.
of this one's really good too.
True.
Really strong.
A lot of my opponents don't know the effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just negate
Yeah.
and destroy.
Yeah. Aggregator, obviously for the Slayer. This one's really good. Sometimes a bit awkward under Purge, but like you can just summon this.
Yeah, but no effect is fine.
No effect is fine because it still turns off Detonator, so you
Yeah.
can still like resolve Maiden. You can still resolve Lordy Load to get to Drill Beam for the next turn. Pretty good. And then the best, this one, the spicy one, the Zeus. So like,
Talent's take.
I think I
Yeah.
won 3 Ryzel matchups because like they would just activate Detonator. You go Tactics to take. They have to pop their own Detonator, so you just take Duo Drive. And they just swing and you make a 4 material Zeus sometimes. And then that's usually game. And then that can like trade with their other back rows and stuff like that, which is really good.
Yeah, I never summoned this one, but it's a very good game.
Yeah, it came up for me a lot.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, that was pretty much the deck profile. Any shoutouts you want to say? Anything else?
Shout out to everyone. Shout out to Samuel. Give me the
So
cards.
that play relies on your opponent to have a 3 material duo drive, right? And they have to like not detach from it, which I guess can happen. Or maybe you ash it or you purge it beforehand. Yeah.
Shout out to Jojo. Give me the list.
Woohoo! Shout out.
Thank
you for the 7 months and happy birthday. Appreciate you.
Shoutouts to Vlad again. Shoutouts to everyone else. And shoutouts to Pojang. Anyways, thanks for watching.
All right. That was a insightful deck profile. I do think this is like pretty close to what I would consider the best way to play Blue Eyes right now. It is of course not budget whatsoever, which is I think what kind of people were hoping for with the structure deck. But I do think there's other ways to do it as well. If you're looking for more budget options, I think like a Bestial approach without Purge is also fine. And then I don't know how easy it is to replace the Primites with other normal summons. Since the Link one, I mean, the Link one is rather generic, you know, any level 4 lower dragon or spellcaster. So I do think like something like even Neo Kaiser Seahorse or something like that can work But yeah, deck's pretty good. It is budget. They are on 2 Fuva. True. Actually true. It was budget Blue Eyes because 2 Fuvalos.